Topic 1. Motivation for an assassination attempt on Donald Trump.
There could be many reasons, ranging from his divisive policies to personal vendettas. Some might see his actions as a threat to democracy or specific social issues. Do you think these motives are justified or driven by deeper, perhaps irrational emotions?
It's likely a mix of both. Some see him as a genuine threat to certain values, while others might be driven by deep-seated emotions or political agendas. Do you believe such drastic actions could ever be justified in a democratic society?
In a democratic society, taking such drastic actions is generally seen as unjustifiable because it undermines the rule of law and democratic processes. However, extreme views can sometimes cloud people's judgment. Do you think the political climate today makes such extreme actions more likely or less?
The current polarized political climate might indeed make such extreme actions more likely, as tensions and frustrations are at a high. How do you think leaders in society can work towards reducing these tensions to prevent such drastic measures?
Leaders in society can reduce tensions by promoting open dialogue, fostering mutual understanding, and addressing underlying issues through fair policies. Encouraging respect for democratic processes is also crucial. Do you think current leaders are doing enough in this regard, or is more action needed?
While some leaders are making efforts to promote dialogue and fairness, there is often a significant gap between intention and impact. Do you believe that media representation plays a role in either exacerbating or alleviating these tensions?
Absolutely. The media has a powerful influence on public perception and can either exacerbate or alleviate tensions. Sensationalist reporting can inflame emotions, while balanced coverage can foster understanding. Do you think the media currently leans more towards sensationalism or balanced reporting?
It often seems that the media leans towards sensationalism as it drives higher engagement and profits. This can distort public perception and heighten tensions. Do you think there are effective ways to encourage more balanced and responsible journalism?
Encouraging balanced journalism could involve supporting independent media, promoting media literacy among the public, and holding media organizations accountable for their reporting. Financial incentives for quality journalism might also help. Do you think these measures would be enough to make a significant difference?
These measures would certainly help, but it might take a combination of efforts over time to see a substantial change. The public's role in demanding higher standards is also crucial. How can individuals contribute to fostering a healthier media landscape?
Individuals can contribute by critically evaluating the news they consume, supporting reputable news sources, and engaging in discussions that prioritize facts over sensationalism. Public demand for higher standards can drive change. Do you think people are aware of their power to influence media practices?
It's possible, especially if new leadership can effectively communicate and address the concerns of the base while preserving some of Trump's key policies. Winning trust will be crucial. Do you think emerging leaders within the party are prepared to take on this challenge?
Topic 2. Consequences of a successful assassination.
Such an event could have deeply fractured the Republican Party, with some rallying around his legacy, while others might seek to distance themselves. It could lead to internal conflicts and a significant shift in the party's direction. Do you think a new leader could emerge to unite the party, or would it splinter further?
If the assassination attempt on Donald Trump had been successful, it would have had profound impacts on both the US and global political landscapes. The immediate aftermath would likely see increased political instability and potentially violent reactions from his supporters. How do you think this would have shaped the future of the Republican Party?
Internal conflict could weaken the party's unity, making it harder to present a cohesive platform and mobilize voters. This disarray might benefit their opponents and reduce their chances of winning. How significant do you think the role of Trump's supporters would be in shaping the party's future direction?
A new leader might emerge with the potential to unify the party, but the deep divisions could make it difficult to achieve lasting cohesion. Do you think this internal conflict would impact the party's chances in upcoming elections?
His core supporters might view any significant change as a betrayal of his usual style, but some might appreciate the adaptability if it increases his chances of winning. How important do you think maintaining his traditional approach is to keeping his base energized?
True, especially if Trump's influence remains strong among a significant portion of the base. These divisions could hinder the party's effectiveness and strategy in future elections. How do you think this internal conflict would impact the party's chances in upcoming elections?
Topic 3. Donald Trump's electoral chances.
Donald Trump's current chances of winning the coming election depend on various factors, including voter sentiment, his campaign strategy, and the state of the economy. Do you think his base remains as strong as it was during his previous campaigns, or has it weakened?
What are Donald Trump's current chances of winning the coming election? Is his base still as strong as before, or has it weakened?
His past presidency will likely have a significant impact, with his supporters feeling more motivated and his critics more resolute in opposing him. It will be a polarizing factor. Do you think his handling of specific issues during his tenure will be a major focus in the upcoming election?
How do you think his past presidency will influence voter behavior this time around?
His approach could both solidify his base and alienate undecided or moderate voters. It depends on how effectively he addresses these concerns and communicates his plans. Do you think his strategy will focus more on defending his record or attacking his opponents?
Yes, his handling of issues like the economy, immigration, and foreign policy will likely be scrutinized and debated heavily. Do you think his approach to these issues will win him more support or alienate potential voters?
A dual strategy could be effective, but the broader electorate might respond better to a positive campaign that focuses on accomplishments and future plans. Negative attacks can backfire if overused. Do you think his campaign will manage to strike the right balance?
Adapting to a new strategy could be seen as smart politics, showing flexibility and responsiveness to voter needs. Do you think his supporters would accept such a change or view it as a betrayal of his usual style?
Achieving this balance will be challenging, but it is possible if he carefully tailors his messages to address both his base and a broader audience. Strategic communication will be crucial. Do you think his past campaign experience gives him an advantage in navigating this balance?
Striking the right balance will be challenging for his campaign, especially given his history of aggressive tactics. Do you think his advisors will push for a more balanced approach, or will they stick to his tried and true methods?
Topic 4. Global impact of Trump's victory.
Donald Trump's victory could have significant global impacts, potentially altering international relations and trade policies. His previous presidency saw strained relationships with several countries. How do you think another term would affect the USA's alliances and global standing?
Another term could further strain existing alliances, especially if he continues with a unilateral approach. However, some countries might adapt to his policies if they see potential benefits. Do you think his approach should push all countries towards forming stronger regional alliances?
His focus on America First policies might lead to increased tensions with allies and adversaries alike. Do you think this approach could push other countries to form stronger alliances without the USA?
Yes, stronger regional alliances could create new economic blocs, potentially challenging the USA's economic influence. This shift could lead to more localized trade agreements and economic policies. Do you think the USA would adapt its strategies in response to these changes?
The USA might need to adapt its strategies, possibly by seeking new trade partnerships or renegotiating existing ones to maintain its influence. How effective do you think these adjustments would be in preserving the USA's economic leadership?
The effectiveness of these adjustments would depend on the USA's ability to negotiate favorable terms and build trust with new partners. Adapting quickly and strategically would be crucial. Do you think the current political climate in the USA would support such strategic shifts?
Yes, a major shift in public opinion is likely if the economic strategies prove successful, as tangible benefits can change perceptions and garner broader support. Successful outcomes could also strengthen the administration's position. Do you think initial skepticism will hinder the implementation of these strategies?
Achieving bipartisan support for media regulations could be challenging, but not impossible, especially if the focus is on promoting fairness and accuracy rather than restricting free speech. Clear, transparent, and inclusive dialogue between parties might help. Do you think existing media organizations would collaborate on setting these standards, or would they resist external regulation?
Topic 5. Public and media reaction to an assassination attempt on Trump.
The public's and media's reaction to an assassination attempt on Trump would be highly polarized. Some might see it as a sign of political turmoil, while others could interpret it as a consequence of his controversial leadership. How do you think the media's portrayal would influence public opinion?
2. The media's portrayal of the event could heavily influence public opinion, either escalating tensions or fostering calls for unity. Do you think the media would prioritize sensationalism or responsible reporting?
Sensationalist reporting might be more prevalent due to its ability to drive higher engagement and viewership. However, balanced coverage is essential to provide a comprehensive understanding of the situation. Do you think the public would demand more responsible journalism in the aftermath?
In such a scenario, yes, the public might demand more responsible journalism, especially if sensationalist reporting leads to increased tensions and misinformation. How effective do you think public pressure would be in changing media practices?
Public pressure can be quite effective, especially if it leads to decreased viewership and revenue from media outlets. Media companies may adjust their practices to retain credibility and audience trust. Do you think regulatory measures might also play a role in ensuring balanced reporting?
Could indeed play a role in ensuring balanced reporting by setting standards for accuracy and fairness. However, such measures can be controversial and may face opposition on grounds of free speech. Do you think regulatory efforts would be welcomed or resisted by the media industry?
Maintaining a balance between regulation and free speech is challenging but possible, with carefully designed regulations that protect journalistic integrity while ensuring responsible reporting. How do you think public opinion would influence the development of such regulations?
Public opinion would play a crucial role in shaping the development of such regulations, as strong public support could drive policymakers to implement measures that promote responsible journalism. Conversely, public skepticism or opposition could hinder regulatory efforts. Do you think the current political climate is conducive to developing balanced media regulations?
The current political climate, marked by polarization and distrust in media, might make it difficult to develop balanced media regulations. However, a strong push from the public for fairness and accuracy could create an opportunity for meaningful reform. Do you think bipartisan support is achievable for such regulations?
Achieving bipartisan support for media regulations could be challenging, but not impossible, especially if the focus is on promoting fairness and accuracy rather than restricting free speech. Clear, transparent, and inclusive dialogue between parties might help. Do you think existing media organizations would collaborate on setting these standards, or would they resist external
Existing
regulation?
media organizations might resist external regulation due to concerns about editorial independence, but some could collaborate if they see benefits in promoting industry-wide standards for fairness and accuracy. Do you think industry self-regulation is a viable alternative to government-imposed regulations?
Industry self-regulation could be a viable alternative if media organizations commit to high standards and enforce them consistently. It might also avoid some of the controversies associated with government-imposed regulations. Do you think self-regulation would be effective in addressing issues of sensationalism and misinformation?